model 2175. We'll get it open and get it assembled. The top is the bottom and your manual. 2 of 4 legs. If you remove the cardboard from the sides, this may help. We shall see. It does not. You have to put your feet to the side like this. Hold the box as you do it. And now we can't return it.
Perfect.
Comes with the manual in English and Spanish. Grab whichever one you need. It's got a part breakdown of everything and the assembly. These hex bolts, you can either use a Phillips or a hex and get those in. And you do the 4 legs, tilt that thing on its back. You gotta pay attention to which one you need to use. Those are A, which is the first one here. And that's what you use for the side of the leg. And you do the bottom and then the casters. Watch out for this stuff. You get that all over your hands. Got the 2 other legs. Have you seen any of this sticky stuff I got on my hands? That is like this oil-based whatnot to basically prevent any rust from happening. And you definitely want to burn all that off before you cook. Inside was this box, and then there's a little box inside that. Inside that one is where you have this with all of the screws. So this can be a little confusing. There's 2 that are 10s and 2 that are 12s. All of these holes are up here. You want these holes to be facing inside. This side, you want them face in that way so you can then put that bottom piece on. Diagram doesn't look like it in real life. I hate when they do. Came to a standstill. The diagram does not show these in real life. I absolutely hate when they do this. So this one has the hole and then the screw. There we go, a hole and a screw. This one has just a hole. As you can see, none of them have just a hole. This one has nothing on the bottom. And again, none of them have nothing on the bottom. This one has 1 screw, and there's a couple with 1 screw. So 2 of these don't even exist in the pieces we're given. Got it figured out, but it's not like the manual. As you can see here, it's missing some holes. Even when you turn the page, same thing here, it's missing some holes. So here's how you actually want it. You want the 2 holes on this side, and each one is just gonna have 3 screw holes. Those only point one way, so you can't get those wrong. And then the same on this side, the right side, except this side just has those screw holes and that's it. Then we go ahead and get the bottom grate on with the same A screws. There's that bottom piece on. There are 4 screws that go in there, again the A's, and they fit on the opposite side of this, so you gotta come up and through and go ahead and tighten those down once you get all 4 of them on. For the next part, grab that rod. It's this black one here. I've got one side on. I'll show you how to put the other side on. Put F, G, and H, which is that cap. Then you've got a cotter pin and that washer. And you do this opposite on each side. Get the wheel on, then you get the washer, then the cotter pin, and then the cap you push on with full force or with a hammer that has a rubber tip on it. You'll hear a snap once it's on fully. It looks a little weird, but that's how it stays on there. Then you grab the casters and get one in either side. You cannot get a box wrench in there. As you can see, there's no clearance for that. So you just tighten it as good as you can with your hand and pray that it doesn't come free. Then you grab that silver piece and you get it in there. Grab 4 of the D screws and it goes in like this. And you get those screws in, as you can see right there. And that allows for airflow. And there's the handle. Go ahead and get those D screws about as tight as you can. Don't over tighten them. You don't want to bust this or strip anything out. They free float. They do stand off a little bit, so they are not going to tighten enough where you cannot move this. Grab that handle and an A screw and you put that on there like so, and go ahead and tighten that one down. Put this piece and this piece on, which are the sides, basically to hold whatever you want to put on them. And the difference between them is actually the holes. They both want to face to you. So you have that side, which would be the 26, and then this one, which would be the 8. And a trick to these is put these on a little bit first. Go ahead and get those A screws on, and then you hook them on to that. And then you can put the screws down below onto it, so you don't have to fight the whole thing while you're trying to put a screw on. I got this right one on, and this was not fun. I had to get these really loose, and still they don't match up right. They look okay right now, but that was hard to get down. I had to pound with my hand. I don't know, there's a little bit of dent right here. Maybe that might be the cause of it, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do next, is go ahead and get these tight and then tighten up those top ones. I went ahead and did the same with the other side. This one was a lot easier. I think it was that dent that didn't allow me to get it perfectly straight. And now you can go and tighten all 4 of these. Get the handle in there, and there is a cotter pin, the third and last one, that you shove through the hole there. The handle is on, but I don't have the cotter pin in yet. The way this works is it doesn't actually attach to anything inside here. It screws in and out, and it pushes right here, which then in turn raises the bed up and down. Come up from the bottom to get that cotter pin in. You don't want it all the way in, it's just in that first notch. Slide this in. There is no handle on the front. You actually grip it from the bottom. So word of warning when you're using this, if it's really hot or you're done, wait until this cools down. You don't want to grab under here with your bare hands. You could really injure yourself if this is really hot. The next part is to get this handle in on the front. If you look everywhere, you're not going to find these or those wing nuts because they're actually attached to it. So you want to go ahead and back those off and then put that on just like instructed. With the washer and the wing nut on the inside and the handle, of course, and that piece on the outside, which is that part right there. These actually have one more washer than the manual says. It's got 2 here, so be sure to get both of those on the inside, not the outside where the actual handle is. Then we go ahead and get the temperature monitor installed, and that's basically the same thing as the handle. You back that off, put it in there, and then put it back on. Be careful though, this does fall apart, so if you're just holding the black part, this part can fall out and smack on some concrete or the ground or go in your foot, so be careful with that. And those holes do match up here, so you cannot really install it in the wrong spot. 300 will be basically at 12 o'clock. Get the vent installed, and there's going to be a center one in the back, and you want this lip fully facing you. Go ahead and tighten those, but don't over tighten them. You don't want to bust the inside. And this is what it'll look like. Next is E and B. Go ahead and get those in good and tight. I've got both of them in right there, and they don't actually attach to anything right here. What they're for is for this. Slide that on, get that side on, get them hanging off a little bit, and then you get this part, this prop, and put that in. This part is not fun to get in. This moves all over the place. You got to keep this kind of still. It basically loops over this and under all the rest of them, and then over this part. And there are 2 holes, one right here and one right here, that you put that into. And once that's in, it won't move enough to actually fall off of those. Those are just basically retaining. And the last step is to get those cast iron pieces on, and these pegs here and those pegs go on this. The older model actually had hooks that you could hook things from. These are little standoffs, those right there, so you can hang whatever you want on that. I did like the hooks a little better, but I guess we'll see if these work just as well. Completely together, that is how you get it up and down. And for your first time, go ahead and do basically a dry run. Put a bunch of charcoal in there, heat it up, get it hot, close this thing. I mean, leave the vents open until it gets hot, then shut it. And you want to burn all of this stuff off. You don't want any of that in your food. Get it as hot as possible and let it cool down, and then actually cook something on it the second time. And if you've never used one of these, this is what that does. Good thing about the door is you can just light it from under here. That's it. That's the grill. We will see how well it works. Thanks for watching this assembly video. I hope this helped somebody. Watch this take 2 hours. You shut it.